Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
What's the motherfucking deal, sauce? Ha! My friends in the den. But again, I hope everybody is well. I almost said the wrong thing. Players fuck up. But you got to be a player to fuck up, and we know Kenneth is no player. But anyway, welcome to the Kush Den. If you're not familiar with the Kush Den is a 420 friendly conversation and community, even though we haven't been 420 friendly in about 2.5 months. But who's keeping track, right? But tonight we're going to talk about cultural differences in America. Now, if you don't smoke, it's okay. Fix yourself a nice adult beverage. If you don't drink, even better. Pour yourself a nice warm glass of milk and sit back, relax, enjoy the chat. But your nice warm glass of milk would be so much better if anyway, no explanation necessary. But again, tonight we're going to talk about cultural differences in America. And I hope everybody is well on this terrific Tuesday. I hope everything is falling in line. I hope life is treating you dandy. Shout out to Dr. Rabbit for the pre-stream concert. It was all good until you start getting to the flow rider. Shout out to Heidi, Balin, even though he was hating on my shirt. Kenneth, I gave you power. Jaybird, oh, good to see you all. Good to see you all. Man, I'm going to perform Travis Scott songs at Honcho. Yes, it will definitely. It will be. You talking about that stevia, the fake sugar? If you use stevia, don't use the cancer stuff, sweet and low. You know that'll definitely get you. That'll get you in some shit. But again, like I said, we're going to talk about cultural differences on tonight's episode. And there's lots of different aspects of culture in America. And we're going to talk about, algebra homework. Man, make sure you do your homework. So you say, by the way, The Alchemist in your school library, and you picked it up. PDFs are annoying to read. Well, good job. I'm glad you picked the book up. You should read it and apply it. It is a very interesting parable about life. So make sure. What were you expecting the cover to look like? I mean, there's different ones. Like I said, the one I have the 25th anniversary edition, and the cover on mine is different than it's different on the first one. The first one I read had a different cover than the one I have now. Yes, only do your homework. Unless they paying you, don't be out there doing homework for free. You're out there simping. It's too early in the school year to start all that simping. You know what I mean? So do your thug thing. But like I'm saying, cultural differences. And so we're going to talk about different cultures in America. You know, there's so many. Scotty, stop your shenanigans. And I'm going to start with some of the simpler ones, and then we're going to kind of talk about some other things that you have to deal with that may be a slightly more controversial. So when we think about America, even in big cities, you have divided areas. You know, you have your Chinatowns, which I don't know if that refers to all Asians, if they all live in Chinatown. I don't think there's a Japantown. I don't know how that shakes. You have, what they'll call Little Mexico sometimes. You usually have your Spanish areas. And again, I think within, other countries, I think that, groups, like I call everybody Mexican. I call all the Islanders Jamaican. But I think when you're in a different culture, you're in a different area, that you tend to kind of group with other like individuals, not necessarily like, so when I say like Chinatown. I'm sure that's like where primarily all the Asians are. I think, you probably have your Japanese, your Chinese, your Korean, your Vietnamese. I'm sure there's a lot of others. That's about as good as I can get. Man, I remember the last time I was locked up, there was a funny ass Vietnamese dude. He was a crackhead. I never thought that, I guess you can't ever underestimate anybody. There are Vietnamese crackheads, so. But he was hilarious. He was telling a story about how he got beat up by his girlfriend because he got high off that shit. And yes, Arabs. You know them Arabs. Crabs and Arabs. But he's somebody got beat up by his girlfriend, her mom, and her like best friend, and I think a couple other chicks, which I'm probably sure they own a nail salon, so they probably all work together. Was that racist? No, it wasn't racist. It's probably more factual than racist. But what happened, I guess he said he got off on that shit. I can't remember if he was a crackhead or a meth head. I think he was a crackhead, though. But he said, he would do it once in a blue moon, but I guess blue moons were bad for him. And he talked about how he smoked that shit. And he decided to send a picture of his junk to his girlfriend's friend. And let's just say that didn't turn out too well for him. And so he got beat up that evening and taken to jail, too. So there's that. James Harden, what's the motherfucking deal? So you didn't see Scotty on the stream like just now, like last stream. He's around here fucking up somewhere. They on the couch. He's just chilling, man. Couch in the den. Alien, we'll probably have a Supernatural Saturday or something like that eventually. But here's the deal. So I thought that was funny. I mean, it really has nothing to do with Chinatown or anything like that. But, in your Hispanic areas of town, I'm pretty sure you have, your Mexican, your Hondurans, the Hondurans are everywhere. You can't get rid of them. And I'm sure, all the other segments of Hispanic cultures. Too many of them, goddammit. There's way too many. He wasn't in the Kush den yesterday, was he? I don't think so. But he was in the sauce just now. So my thing is, like I say, so when we're talking about these different cultures, again, I'm going to lump everything in one category because this is what I do. Except, black culture, I have to talk about black Americans and Africans separately because these are two different entities. And then, I'm going to be honest with you, when you start talking about, all the different segments of white people, man, you're just going to lose me. I can barely tell the difference between, a regular white person and a Jewish person. I have no idea. I don't know. I just only know, if their last name has, Vitz or something in it, I think they're supposed to be Jewish. I don't know. Maybe when they rock the little curly things, something of that sort. I really don't interact with a whole lot of them, so I really can't tell you. So I mean no harm if I label them a particular kind of way. It just is what it is. So when we talk about culture, first things first, you have to talk about food. I think food is a primary aspect of culture. Everybody eats. Everybody feels a particular way about their cultural delicacies. Russian, French, white is white to me. I'm going to be honest. It would have to be some particular. The Frenchman would have to have the little hat and a cigarette for me to tell the difference, and the Russian would have to have a bottle of vodka and a computer, and then I could probably tell the difference. So, yeah, everybody eats, B. But my thing is, the foods, the cultural foods. I think that's where you start off. I'm gonna be honest. Now I've eaten. I want to say it was a Honduran restaurant, but I've had buku Mexican food. I mean, that's everywhere. If you live in the city of Houston, you haven't had Mexican food. then you tripping. Say, what the whole time this Harden was actually doing well, then he better drop me some inside intel on what's going on with the Rockets. God damn it. But like I say, you know, food is, I think, the most important thing. And everybody feels like, you know, they make the best stuff except for fried chicken and rice. Oh, you must be Chinese then, because the Chinese people own all the damn fried chicken and rice joints. Yeah, I'm telling you, Tyron been saying KJ gonna be good. Like, y'all don't realize KJ went and worked with Bouye and the other guy Ramsey this fucking off season. Kevin Johnson been putting in work, man. I'm telling y'all, he just got injured. He's still a little frail. I'm gonna trade Kevin Durant and LeBron. No, that'll be the worst. I might have to stop fucking with the Rockets. But you know, food is a very important thing. Even though Heidi says that the Hondurans have terrible food, she has assaulted them and accosted them. Like, honestly, even with Irish people, I can't really tell the difference between Irish people unless they start talking or something. Because, like, you ever see those videos on YouTube, Irish people try this? They look like Americans to me. Like, they look like everybody. Like, they look like everybody I see when I go outside around this area. Like, they look like everybody. So, you know, it is what it is. So, hold on, I got a challenge to a fight. I didn't even see the challenge, man. I guess there's not a lot of love for Hondurans. Are Hondurans natural simps? I mean, are they naturally simping, or does that apply to a whole Hispanic culture, or is that only Hondurans? How does that work? But like I say, food is a big difference. Now, so many cultures, it's too difficult. Okay, bet. I'm gonna check that here in just a second. Actually, I'll check it like literally now in just a second. But as we're talking about culture, you know, Asians, Japanese, I don't know the difference in the food. Like, I think, okay, I bet, got you, did that right now. Man, I got you, man. Look, hey, shit, we get everything organized. I'll give you more than 5 minutes if you need more than 5. We'll work it out. Because I think that'll be a good look. You know what I'm saying? Definitely can make that shake. I think that's definitely an aspect that I've wanted to implement, but like I said, I just haven't had that angle. So we'll definitely talk about that. Most violent. Who's the most violent? I don't know. The Chinese are the most violent, or the Asians are the most violent. But I don't know. Everybody's violent. But, you know, with the Chinese food here in America isn't even real Chinese food for the most part from what I've heard. So when you go to a Chinese restaurant, that's like some Chinese shit that they like made up here. Like, what is it, like lo mein or something? It's basically like scraps from all the other shit. And, you know, they just kind of called it some shit and Americans eat it. San Pedro Sula was the murder capital of the world for many years. I'm starting to imagine Heidi with a fucking country accent. That would be hilarious. She could be like the yodel kid, but do the floss. Authentic Chinese food is dogs. Oh, you guys are racist, but it's true. But again, like I say, you know, the shit that you eat here is just some shit that they kind of made up. Japanese people eat rice with everything, and that's why they don't grow. But I like them. They have like some of the most interesting culture. Do Japanese people have they're not really religious people, are they? They believe in the dragons and samurais and shit. But we'll get to that point. We'll get to that aspect. That'll definitely be another part of culture that we're going to talk about. But I want to talk about in America how different cultures handle business. And speaking of the Arabs, which we spoke on earlier, what all classifies as Arabs? The origin of Kung Fu, the legend continues again. You know, like, because I'm going to be honest, like I know like Pakistani and that's about all I know. you know, like Indians are like a little bit different, I think, than like the rest of them. I think they're like, what, more progressive or some shit. I don't know. They're probably not. Just probably the ones that are over here. They're probably just happy to be away from all the cows and shit. I'm trying to figure it all out, man. Like, because I know there's like, you know, you got your Pakistan, you got your Iranians, you got your Iraqis, you got, like, I don't even know if that's all in the same area. I like lump all that shit in the same area. Just, I really don't pay enough attention to all of that. But that's what I lump all the Arabs in. You know, as far as you go to the hood, they talk about Arabs, you're going to get pretty much all that. You're going to probably get all that stuff there. But the way they handle business, Chinese people too, because they come from cultures where they're used to haggling for prices. That's why, you know, whenever you go get your jewelry out the mall, I give you best price. Come here, my friend. Hello, my friend. I give you best price. You got authentic gold jewelry, best price for you. Could you, my friend? You know, that whole kind of thing. And, you know, that's why it's always never a set price for anything. You can always work your way down. But, you know, with Americans, it's a bit different. Well, the price is on the tag, and that's the only price I'm accepting. But say Asians are some scammers, low key. Why do you say that? Why do you say the Asians are scammers? That's such a general statement to make. I mean, you can say that about anybody. Everybody scams. Every race has scammers. Every race has scanners. Because I mean, shit, the real scammers were the fucking Nigerians, man. Like I say, we got to separate the Africans from the African Americans, because at least the whole 419 scam, like, that was a thing. And they used to make songs about the shit. Like, they had very complicated scams. They were scamming the shit out of Americans, like, for a long time. But them old bullshit ass emails, oh, my friend, you just won the African lottery, but you got to send us some money to get some. Like, how the fuck does that work? You know, like, I mean, how is that even a thing? But again, people fell for it. People are still falling for it. A lot of American white women have fallen for the African love scam. That is crazy. That's unfortunate. Well, they'll get them next time, which is what, tomorrow. But there's a lot of white women who fall for that. I was watching some shit the other day, and they were talking about how the Nigerians, you know, have been switching up. They switched the scams up. This is still from a few years back, and try to look up some of my songs. Oh shit! Oh, T'Challa won the Nigerian lottery. Well, look here. You send me $1 million, okay, and then I'll send you 350,000. That's how that works, right? That's something like that. But yeah, I mean, desperation is a hell of a drug, because what you have is these women, they meet these guys, and these guys tell them they do this and that, and like, honestly, what they were doing, it would be black guys posing. They would just go get a picture off any fucking dating site and say that they were from, you know, America, and they were living over there, and they were trying to. The one I saw in particular was the dude said he was like this was like in Britain though. This was actually some of the British women too. They were getting done pretty bad. Basically, he said he was like in the British Army, and he was stationed in Africa, and he had some imports coming in, and he was trying to get it all together. And so he had her like send him a bunch of money to try to get the shit through customs supposedly and all that shit. And basically he was scamming the fuck out of her. Then he told her, you know, okay, he was finally coming to town on some certain date, and he was gonna in terms of the time he lost to the Kush did for moderator position. I don't even remember. But so, you know, and then it only then did she realize she had got scammed when she didn't show up for like 3 days or some shit like that. So there's that. Well, I mean, that's what American niggas do. American niggas, that's all they do is practice fucking. You know, apparently that's the legend. But the way they handle business, like I say, you know, Americans, they somewhat have their set prices. You have your more Eastern or Middle Eastern cultures seem to be more negotiators. Alien on the couch, he's just chilling, man. He's just chilling in the den. He's smoking because I can't smoke. Or not that I can't smoke, but I'm just choosing not to smoke right now because there's a bigger goal in mind. And until I reach that goal or, a couple of processes in towards that goal, there's no smoke right now. Smoking is not on the list. But business is a different way that cultures handle different things. Niggas barely believe in business, and that kills me. We do the most complaining about services and how we're treated and other people do. We complain about white people's businesses. We complain about Asian businesses. We complain about the Arabs businesses. Again, I don't know if all the white people are lumped in with the Russians and the Polish people and all that other stuff, so they all just get one. But we even complain, like niggas complain about niggas businesses. Like niggas want to hook up from other black people. They complain that the Africans are trying to do them all kind of off the wall shit. Niggas just complain about business instead of doing more business. I don't know how do white people just, I guess they just do business. All right, pal. Well, you got yourself a fucking deal, and they shake on it. That's a square deal right there, buddy. And they go on about their way. All 50 nations of Europe are different. They're all the same to me. All right. Look, I don't got time for this. I gotta generalize. That's the way I get to. I gotta generalize everything. Europe, a bunch of Europeans. I don't care, Eastern, Western, Southern Europeans, Northern Europe. They're all Europeans. They're all just different types of white people. That's what I'm gonna do. That's it. All right. Family though. Rivalries, stereotypes, bunch of soccer hooligans. That's what the fuck that is. But let's talk about family and how different cultures approach family. How different cultures view family. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I think honestly. That's not repetitive. To me, Hispanic people have the strongest familial bonds, in my opinion. Like, they fucking, I mean, they're all family. They don't even know each other. They're family. They fucking big green train. They fucking, they support each other no matter what. You ever, like I said, have you ever done any contract work? Have you ever done any construction, any things like that? Hey, Mexicans don't know a motherfucker. They see a motherfucker applying for the job. That's me, motherfucking primo. Hey, primo, fucking get you on. They gonna fucking make sure they take care of each other. They gonna put each other on. Like, shit, we gonna try to keep as few niggas out of this motherfucker as we can. Shit, if rather you get the goddamn job. Them motherfuckers be taking over. They don't give a shit. So they all fucking family. But I can respect that, man, because it's better. They gonna look out for each other, man. Like, there's no problem with that. So I think that's cool, because, well, honestly, like I say, majority of my life I've always hung out with Hispanic people for some reason. I guess, like I said, when I was younger, my mom, she worked. A Spanish family kept me, and they be teaching me all kind of Spanish. Again, that fresh ass goat milk. You know what I'm saying? Had a little farm in the back and shit. It was Gucci. They had a Gucci goat. You know what I'm saying? The boy had patent leather hooves, like the J's. Nah. But it was cool, man. Like Phoenix. I demand Zaxby's from you, Phoenix. I want Zaxby's, and I want it now. It's my Zaxby's, and I want it now. What's good, Phoenix? It was always good to see you, man. But like I say, I think Hispanics have the tightest familial bond. White Americans, and I don't even know what that is. Like I say, I don't know about Europeans. I don't know how Europeans do it. I really have no idea. I think the Jewish people are probably pretty tight from what I've seen on the comedy shows. I haven't really interacted with too many of them. If I have, they flew under the radar, and I didn't know. But from what I've seen on the comedy shows, the Jewish people are pretty close-knit, the bubbies. And I think there's like no reason for me to have these on because like I'm not listening to anything. I think the Jews' favorite. Look, this is what I'm saying. I don't have time to figure out the Jew groups. You got like Orthodox, unorthodox, and the left and the right Jews. So there you go. That's all four of them. Oh my goodness, Kiki, don't love me. But like I say, you know, they seem to be pretty nicks. You always hear like the Jewish people talking about their mommy, and mommy calls them bubby, and then fucking they do all Wiener Schnitzel. No, that's not the Germans. What do they say? They have, what's the weird? They say little weird shit. They have like a little weird talk and shit. So there's that. You have black people. We got to kind of figure that one out. Yiddish, Ashkenazi. Yeah, look, I'm skittish about the Yiddish. I don't know what's going on with that shit. You better speak. We speak English here, goddamn it. All right, this is fucking America. We speak goddamn English here. Let me see what's up, y'all. Been taking shots at your boy, but my thing is this, though. Like I say, you know, they seem to be pretty close. They seem to be, because they talk about, you know, the bar mitzvahs, you know, they have, that's very interesting about Jewish people. Like, what other cultures have a rite of passage? I think that's the thing that kind of brings that family bond together. Because Hispanics, you know, they have, well, I don't know if it's just a Mexican thing. They have the quinceañera, and, you know, that's like a rite of passage into womanhood or whatever. You know, you're only like 15, which is strange, but you start getting treated like an adult. And I think part of that is necessary because you have expectations. Once you start getting, you know, to adulthood, you get treated a certain way. You have expectations. You know, there's a level of responsibility that comes with that. I think what the bar mitzvah is like when you're like 13, they start treating you like a man. You have responsibilities, you know. And I think that kind of mindset, when it's instilled at a young age, it's beneficial. But as overall Americans, well, he's only 17. He doesn't know any better. So if you black, your ass fucking look fucking, you 12, they say you look grown. They fucking gut your ass down. But I should come to your mom's quinceañera and your sisters and cousins. Yes. I'm pretty sure I went to school with somebody whose mom was probably having a quinceañera. And we were probably in the 9th grade when that was happening. But where you get the tyro. But again, like I say, you know, I think those cultures that have those type of rites of passage ceremonies, that you see that those people are more successful or more oriented as far as, you know, getting work. I mean, you see like Hispanics, they get to work young. Ain't no fucking, well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I'm 26. I'm out of college. I got a degree, but I don't know if that's really what I want to do. You know, I'm just trying to find myself. Hell no, them motherfuckers be 18 in the plants getting it in, got a fucking full family and shit already. Them motherfuckers be getting on it. You know what I'm saying? What's the motherfucking deal, McVice? But like I say, you know, shout out to McVice, man, showing some love and some sauce support. Copy some of that fresh sauce merch. I appreciate it. I don't know, man. I don't know about them. That's that communion Catholic stuff. When do y'all do that? When does that happen? I don't even know when that happens. Motherfucker be 18 with 4 kids and one on the way and shit. But is there like a set age for that? You know what I mean? So like for the communion and shit, like what is the age that happens? Confirmation's about 14. What is confirmation? Like you confirm that it's actually your kid. Is that like a DNA test? You know what I'm saying? Cavity creep. It has been a while. How you been? Hope all is well. My thing is, like I say, you know, you I mean, I need to know what the confirmation is. Like, is that like where you go on Maury and, he pulls out the envelope? Yeah, we're confirming you are the father. God damn it, she busts out. Start dancing and shit. But my thing is this, again, those cultures that have rite of passage where they start treating, people as adults. Again, they have that experience. It's not like you're waiting until you're 19, 20 like most Americans. And they say, oh, you're still a kid. Then that's why I think a lot of Americans still have that childish mindset, that childish mind frame, because there's no rite of passage. There's no there's no level to develop to. Because once you say, okay, hey, look, at this age you become this and you get treated differently, you respond differently. But when people just like, oh, there's none of that, they continue to they treat their children like children forever. And so they act like children forever. And I think that's an issue. So I think family in cultures that have, again, a rite of passage, I think it's a deal. So you're born, you're baptized Christian. Around 7, you take first communion. Confirmation is I'm older, of sound mind, confirmed, I'm baptized in a believer. I'm confirming I got some in my eye right now. It's not a tear. Before you die. like right before you finna get in a fucking life-ending car wreck, you gotta do your last rites. You know what I'm saying? How does that work? What's good, Wise? What's the motherfucking deal? Like, how do you just know when it's clock out time? We're talking about different things in different cultures. We talked about food, how different cultures approach food a little bit. We talked about how different cultures approach business, and we decided that, I decided that Middle Eastern, Far Eastern countries, they are more hagglers. Niggas be complaining about everything. And the white people, they like a good fair square deal, buddy. Hey, you shake on it, spit on it and shake on it. God damn it. Now you got yourself a goddamn deal. And now we're talking about family, and I'm saying that cultures that have a rite of passage, I think that, I think that's something. But again, women be shopping. But I don't know. Like I said, I look at that. I got tricked. It was juice. I want the purple stuff. I don't want no juice. What the fuck is juice? But like I say, I think with the religious aspect of it, I think it's a little bit different. Simply because it's a religion. You got all kind of different Catholics. I don't know how many black Catholics I've seen though. So I mean, would you count the? But like the Jews, I don't even look at Jews as a religion. I just think of Jews with the curly little Jew fro and bar mitzvahs and Jew fros. Who breaks the plates? Who are the plate breakers? Are those the Jews too? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work? It's a Jewish confirmation. I guess because it must be the look. You Catholics need to, you guys got to get the look down. So that way you can just say, hey, there goes the Catholics, Is that what do they call that shit? Fuck, I can't even remember what it is. What they do to the Hispanics, what they call them. You're fucking, I can't remember, but identifying by race and all that other shit. You break glass at a wedding, you bury plates after certain meals. Who cleans that shit up? Like, that's what I need to know. Like, that's the shittiest job in the whole fucking situation. Like, once you get confirmed and once you get your barbecue, you got to clean that shit up. Now, you're a man, you clean that shit up now. But let's go to the next aspect of cultural differences in America. Let's talk about how people speak English in America. Asians and Arabs, yes, the Arabs, for those of you who may get offended, that they speak all super appropriate, like Indians and all this. Like, you ever see, they speak extremely well. I mean, you speak so well, you articulate so well. But like I say, and I look at this, like I say, you hear Africans, they come to this country and they have that accent, that heavy accent, but generally, you know what the fuck they're saying. The accent is it's just really strong. But I mean, if the other cultures could come with doing all that shit and then fucking speak good English, you know, some of them others, some of those maintain their accents too. Some of them motherfuckers be real heavy. I do not want to buy that camel. Africa will be the next superpower. All right, well, look, let me go ahead and buy me some land. You know what I'm saying? Before all that false farmer killing accusations, for people be trying to go over there and set it off. LeBron James wrote a Bible. It would be the Bible of the Eastern Conference, because he ain't doing shit in the West. Oh, damn it, I didn't accept the fight. I guess I'm not about that life. The only thing I broke is a few condoms. That's even worse. If it ain't in the King James Version, 1611. So how many versions are there, goddammit? Heidi would read it. Well, if James Harden wrote a Bible, hey-yo. But again, speaking English, you know, I think different cultures embrace speaking English differently. And, you know, it's not the first generation ones. It's like that second generation, you know, after they've come here or whatever, like, because them fucking Asians, a lot of them, once they're assimilated, you can't tell the fucking difference. Like I say, the Arabs, you can't tell the difference. Niggas, you can always tell the difference with some niggas. Now, it's certain black people you can't tell. But like when I say niggas again, like I say, you know, niggas is everybody, because everybody uses the word nigga now, so everybody's a nigga. Everybody, all the lower end, lower class aspect of different races is niggas. Because they all behave the same, they all act the same. It's no different. You know, low class, trashy white people act the same as low class, trashy black people, trashy Mexicans. And again, there's a lot of generalizations here when I talk about this shit, so I don't get offended. Be like, well, he said trashy Mexicans. He didn't say trashy Hondurans. Hondurans are Mexicans. Everybody goes in the Mexican category. That's Spanish. Even people from Spain. And then, you know, all the Europeans and all that other stuff. Everybody else goes in the is in the white category. You know, everybody's just getting lumped in. You know, Honcho world history just lumps everybody in. That way it's easier to consume. But again, speaking English, like, niggas just don't speak English, period. Point blank. They get mad at you. You speak well. You sound like white people. He gonna shave whenever they win a championship. So that might be why he gets nervous about shaving. So that's why he doesn't play as well, or he's not as efficient in games that could get him to the championship. Another thing to talk about when it comes to cultural differences in Spain or Native Americans. They all get lumped in. Everybody's lumped in. I'm talking about people like all kind of cultures that come from cultures, you know, Migos, all kind of cultures that come to America. We're a melting pot. Oh, man. Speaking of melting pots, I saw a stupid fucking article the other day from a website called Everyday Feminism. And I wasn't going to read it, but I was like, let me see how these goofy bitches think. And their argument for the fact that America isn't a melting pot is that if you went to a potluck, and a melting pot would be taking all the food that everybody brought and throwing it in one pot, stirring it up and eating it. And like, so that's your logic as to why America is not a melting pot. Okay. You know, that's cool. I mean, if that's the comparison you want to make, whatever. Paul Gasol looks exactly like the guy. Well, no, he's not. He doesn't look like the guy that cuts the grass. He looks like the guy with the blower. He's the guy with the blower. But I would agree with you on that we don't know our culture. Like I'm gonna get into that too when it comes down to it. When we really talk about culture. We're gonna actually get a little bit more detailed into it. But I'm just looking at a couple of categories and just kind of talking about how different nationalities, different races, however you want to identify it, how they kind of respond or how they are associated with some of these things. But body language What's good? It's a boy and Honcho. Damn, we'll talk about that shit in my body language is a very interesting thing, because I don't know. I don't really know about Asians. How are they? But I know like Italians, real talky with the handsy. Arabs, they're relatively animated. I think Asians are animated when they get angry. Niggas are just overly niggas like black people just animated. Like you could tell a simple ass story, and it's gonna get overly detailed with all kind of shit. Speaking of Wakanda Forever, just saw Infinity War the other day. Wakanda didn't last forever very long. Shit, you saw Black Panther, the very next movie, that bitch got fucked up. Man, Wakanda did not last forever very long. Because, I mean, that's where all the motherfuckers came. They fucked all that shit up, huh? So, yeah, that. Absolutely, man. Yeah, man, Italian man kissing on the cheek, that's a no-go. That shit'll get you shanked. Niggas be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, homo? This is been Friday. Become a mod. It'll go about hours. Let's see. Let's see where you at there. Do. All right. So next in line would be Dr. Rabbit, and then Kenneth. Simpin' Ken is in the top 5. Really? That is interesting. And Edman, I didn't even know. Oh yeah, well that's dope. Get to go traveling. That is very interesting. I thought there was definitely some different. You know what? Because it used to be Bryant was up there, but I know he's been having to take care of some stuff. Been working and everything, so I know he hasn't been able to be as active. So that's very interesting. Okay. So the numbers have changed. The last few numbers have definitely changed as of recently. Oh, don't be Tom Savage. Or we can use an additional metric. Let's see where we're at here. Yes, I am number 1. Okay. So I guess I should probably do like top 6 since it's cheating for me. Yeah, it kind of worked out that way. Even though I didn't really use this to start off, I kind of just went with folks who were generally in the streams most of the time, and so what I mean. That's this is kind of how I worked with it. How do you check the time? I don't even know, honestly. I know for the let me see. It might be sweets. Oh, that's how it is. Yeah. Okay. Wow, I ain't even got a whole ain't that a bitch? Brady got more hours. I only got 64 fucking hours. Ain't that a bitch? So we'll figure that out. That's crazy. I don't even be in a damn Brandon. Look, Brandon be holding the den down on nobody even be. Ain't that a bitch? But we're talking about body language and handsy folks, things of that nature. Another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about how, because this is something I just was like a last minute thing right before the den started. I want to talk about how different cultures approach mental illness in America. And the reason why I say this is because what you hear a lot, like old buddy that just had the whole Madden situation. Oh, he had a history of mental illness. That's, you know, we come to expect that. That's always the case. But white people view mental illness as a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, they actually view it as a thing. Niggas don't see mental illness as a thing. Like, it's some niggas in the hood that's really crazy and throwed off, but niggas just, oh, that nigga crazy, man. It is what it is. It's like not even a factor in decision making. I'm gonna go hang with something. Ain't that nigga throwed off? Oh, you mean he just crazy? It ain't no thing. You know what I'm saying? But in white America, they say, hey, he's mentally ill, and what you're doing to him is not right, damn it. But niggas don't look at it like that. So that's why it's never used as a situation for niggas, because there is no history of mental illness for niggas. Niggas don't ever go get checked out for no shit like that. Niggas don't ever go to the doctor and say, hey, doc, I'm feeling a little cuckoo in the cranium. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, basically. Oh, that boy just going off that wet. That's all it is. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's smoking that shit. He on that shit. That's all it is. That's the only thing wrong with it. So niggas don't look at it like that, and that's why I don't think that. That's why I don't think that we can't ever use that to our defense. But I don't know how other cultures view mental illness. Like, I don't know how Asians or Arabs probably like beat you with a stick to knock all the mental illness out of you. Yeah, because that's we've normalized all that other stuff. You know, niggas just gonna kill niggas. It doesn't matter. See, that's how it works. You don't know the program yet, honey. We dismiss all that shit. That's okay. That's all okay. You can't kill over Madden. We're talking about video games here. You're changing the culture. That's a change in culture. The Chicago thing is whatever the Chicago thing is. Oh yeah, I was gonna fight you. I stopped typing halfway. It's Heidi's fault. You want to know why niggas hang out at the corner store and never buy shit? Man, I wonder myself. I remember it used to be a bitch when I stayed over off McGregor. This is some years back. That bitch used to be posted at the corner store, tough dog. Nothing wrong with this bitch. Bitch wasn't crazy or nothing. She would just sit there and just ask for fucking change. Like, the first or second time, you know, I might have gave her a quarter or two, and then somebody hit me like, ain't nothing wrong with that bitch. This bitch just be asking for change. Like, I was like, man, I'm done with this shit. Like, bitch, get the fuck on. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, get the fuck out of here. That shit is craziness. Like, some of them just be like, fuck it. I'm just going to ask for some change. I'm just going to sit here. But I guess it works for them. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I remember seeing some motherfuckers around this. It was off I-10 at this fucking truck stop. I remember pulling in to go get some gas, and it was one dude there. Man, have y'all? Oh shit! That makes me fucking. That shit makes me laugh. I'm gonna tell this other story, but the chicken balls made me laugh about something I seen on Twitter. But white dude, fucking God Bless America t-shirt on, had a sign, scraggly looking. Go stop, I get some gas. Went in there, probably bought a candy bar and some shit. This was some years back. Like, this was a while back. And like I said, getting the gas, I think I was finna shoot down to Beaumont, or I was finna go somewhere that day. I can't even remember. And I pulled back out the gas station. I kind of had to like loop around to get to where I was going. And I pulled back up at the same spot. It was another motherfucker in the same damn shirt with the same damn stuff. Like, these motherfuckers had a crew. They was swapping out shifts, dog. Like, they was panhandling in shifts. So, like, that's why I say that's why I know these motherfuckers out here making fucking money, dog. Yeah, dog, trust me. Dog, niggas don't give a fuck. Niggas be doing some off the wall shit. That's why I say niggas is, but niggas are of all categories. I done seen it all across the board. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? Not between the sheets up in my home. This wasn't a Ronald Isley song. This was panhandlers swapping shifts. So motherfuckers be eating on that panhandling shit. And I'm just like, man, how the fuck did nobody else? I know somebody else had to see this shit. Like, these motherfuckers swapping shifts, dog. Motherfuckers probably got a nice house. Probably fucking, what's the request you have there, Dr. Rabbit, sir? Yeah. Oh man, I seen a nigga in Miami. Oh my God, I seen a nigga in Miami. They followed that nigga home, dog. That nigga had like a 2-story house. That dude was eating out. He was living very well. It was a BMW out front. Like, they followed that nigga all the way home. I remember the one chick in New York, she was cold with it though. The chick in New York was cold with it. Because what she would do, she had like a little van that was parked up. And so she would leave out her house. Regular chick, wasn't nothing wrong with her finding that. She leave out her house, go get in the van, switch up clothes, come out the van looking like a fucking old lady. Had a fucking walk, like got into a whole character. And she'd go like to nice places, like I don't know if it's Saks Fifth Avenue or whatever, like places like that, and be outside just panhandling and making a killing. And then the news caught her ass one time, and they followed and tried to rap her. She stayed in character for a bit, but they exposed the fuck out of her motherfucking ass. What the second date update is on the 93Q? Nah, I'm not sure about that. Never heard of it. 93Q country? 93Q country. I don't even know that's how it goes. That's how I'd imagine it would go. But like I say, the other thing though about the chicken wings, why this nigga posted his thing on, I guess he's a rapper. He posted a picture on Twitter or something, and everybody was like, fuck the nigga in his picture. They were talking about how he was at this little quarter store, and on that bitch it said it had wings, one wing for 79 cents. One wing for 79 cents. I think it was like one and like three, like 5, 8, and something like that. And dog, they got more responses. I guess he was a rapper or whatever. He had like some little shirt with the matching. He just looked like some type of Jamaican tie-dye looking shirt with some matching shoes. Both folks like, oh, I guess a bunch of people knew him because they was kind of quoting some of his little lyrics talking about, I don't know you, you ain't come up with me, or I can't trust you, you ain't come up with me. Something like, that's always a bad mindset to have, you know, because motherfuckers, you come up in the hood with lack and motherfuckers trying to gank your ass and get you, so that's the motherfuckers you trust, as opposed to motherfuckers who getting something, trying to get somewhere and go somewhere. That's the type of people you need to affiliate yourself with. But whatever, everybody has their own principles. But motherfuckers was going in on the fact that there was one wing for 79 cents. Like, who's the nigga that's going by the one wing for 79 cents? Who is that nigga? It's the rest of the thing. Second date update, where if you go on a date, they don't call you back, you call them, and they'll call the person, keep you on the rest while you listen. Okay. That's awful. Sounds like Love Connection with a twist. Didn't they try to bring back Love Connection? I don't know how that lasted. Love Connection used to be dope way back in the day. That shit used to be live back in the day. But now, I don't know. Not so much. They need to bring back they need to bring back fucking, yeah. Once he get that 79 cents, he finna eat. That's gonna be his meal for the day. He gonna make a couple of $100, but he gonna spend the rest of that shit on crack. And he go buy that one wing for 79 cents right before he go smoke. But that shit is wild. Like one wing for 79 cents. But then again, I don't even know if that's a wing. That's probably like a rat leg or some shit. You know, gas station. Gas station wings can't be trusted. Robert Faggot. No, I never saw that. That's like his real name. So you took a shower, now you got a fever. That's a. Oh man, that has to be. Hey, faggot, come here. If your last name faggot, that's gotta be awful. So if you beat up somebody whose last name was faggot, is that a hate crime? Like, well, officer, he beat up a faggot. Like, what if like the faggots are like a prominent family name in like a certain town, like, you know, there's always that family in a small town. They're like well-to-do, you know. Yes, he's one of the faggot children. What? Huh? Yes. His father's a faggot. Okay. That's awful. I'm gonna be honest. You got to get that changed if that's the case. Man, and that's very interesting too, because I'm glad she sent me that, because I forgot about that deal. they actually convicted that fucking cop that killed old buddy. I think it was the one. If that's the story I remember, like I said, I just saw the fact that he got convicted of it. But the one that was the kid that was leaving the party that they ran up in, and he shot up the car or whatever. I hate that little faggot's fruit stand. No, you could do so much. That's almost like when Dave Chappelle did the Niggar family. Oh, those niggers. But you just did it with the faggots, dog. That would be hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, is that it? Would it be a hate crime? I'm gonna go smoke that. Like, what if you had like one cigarette left, like in England or Britain, whatever they say that shit, and you're like, and there was like a very, what's the word, flamboyant homosexual standing on the corners. You're outside, you and your homeboy just talking. You got your last cigarette on the windowsill, and there's a very flamboyant homosexual standing a little ways down the street. And so you get up and you point, I'm going to go smoke that fag. Would you be, would you, like how would that be perceived? He's going to go kill him. He's going to go kill that gay guy. Oh my God. Yeah, I might do that. I said I was going to play, get on the mixer last night. I ended up not doing that at all. But I want to get back to the cultural differences. There are definitely cultural differences if your last name is faggot. That's hilarious. But mental illness is one thing. But something I really want to talk about is the cultural differences. Oh, that's awful. Oh, you don't want to bum a fag. That's a whole different conversation. Where are you going with that? But that's the thing though. Like in different countries, different things you say mean two completely different things. So if you said, "Hey, can I bum a fag?" in England or wherever that is, it's no big deal. It's nothing. You say that over here, you're going to be expected to say a pause, and then people are going to question you a lot. They also say tosser, you tosser, salad tosser. But that's definitely a troublesome phrase over here. You go to jail for some shit like that. You can't say. That's just sad that you can't even say shit nowadays. Like I believe in free speech. Like even if it's directed ill against me, because I want to be able to say whatever the fuck I want to say about other people. I think it should be allowed. Culero. And diaper and cube. That's awful. All I know is culo. All right, Dr. Rabbit, you get that algebra done. And hope you're getting good grades. And make sure you get your Naruto on tomorrow. Just run through the lunchroom with the Naruto run. And take the number 2 headband. But school, that's what I want to talk about, how different cultures approach school, I think when you have family, when again, like they say that second generation, that first generation, definitely most cultures, Eastern cultures, the Middle East, Asians, they don't play when it comes to school shit. Why is it that it's always the Arabs, it's always the Asians, whether they're Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Korean, whatever, all the Asians, like school is number one. Okay. Like there is no, look, they ain't playing about that shit. You say papaya is a fruit in Mexico, what it means for JJ and Q. I'm gonna go eat some papaya. In Mexico, you're getting a delicious fruit. In Cuban Spanish, you're getting an STD. Asians copy shit. But my thing is that they don't play with that shit. And like I say, my thing is that it's always the smallest number of them, but them motherfuckers are always at the top of the class. Like they're pressured to succeed. Like they fucking people be on their ass. Niggas take that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that kills me. Like niggas, there's no excuse, dog. Like it was a point in time, especially with black people. I'm not gonna say niggas, because let's not confuse it. Black people, especially with the history of this country, like we should want to read more than anything. But it's the hardest thing in the world to do, get a black person to read a fucking book, a black person or a nigga to read a fucking book, dog. it was a point in time when you would get bodied for reading a fucking book, dog. You would get buried for reading a book. Like, we feel like white people holding everything else back from us but the knowledge that's in the books. Like, this is something they literally withheld from you. But now you have access to that shit. You can't get a nigga to read a book to fucking save their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that kills me. Yeah, but they would use the Bible to give you certain select passages that they would teach them. You know, certain passages to salvation, even though those passages conveniently kept them enslaved. But that'll be the only thing you could halfway get a nigga to read nowadays, and not even that. Like, but the thing that's funny about, like I say, this is why I'm just like not big on a lot of black churches, because it's the same shit that slave masters used back then to use with slaves, and they would let them have a little bit of church or whatever it is. It's the same shit that the black heads of churches now do. They don't break it down. They don't explain shit to you. They're not giving you understanding. They're picking and choosing certain scriptures to keep your ass mentally oppressed, and you know, not really giving you a full understanding and a full knowledge. 9 churches right next to each other. Probably ain't none of them teaching nothing right, but it is what it is. So that's why I say it's super crazy. It's super crazy. But again, it's up to a person to go and seek out the knowledge that is available. And so, Zero's gonna get you, Tidy. Zero is the Mo City Don. He won't have any of that. Y'all see the Zero been working out with Slim Thug and shit. You know, they work with old buddy getting swole. And Zero looks short as shit. Slim Thug and old buddy sitting on a stool looking just as tall as that nigga. But again, like I say, you know, you can't get a nigga to crack open a book. Man, there's so much information available. But my thing that I beef with is like, and if a nigga do get a book, it's usually a black female, and it's a fucking, what was that? What was the one that all them bitches was reading in fucking school? The Coldest Winter Ever, or one of them books from what was the bitch named Zane or something like that. It'll be something that has to do with fucking something overly sexual. It has to be something sex related when it comes to women reading these goddamn, but it ain't nothing knowledgeable. It ain't nothing that's gonna benefit you, nothing that you can use to apply to your life to step up. Again, it's more bullshit, filthy trash entertainment. That's the only shit you can get motherfuckers to read. But a book I do want to read, but at the same time, like I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I want to read the Jay Prince book. I'm gonna get to it. It's not like, I mean, it's something I definitely want to read because I respect Jay Prince and what he's done, and you know, I mean, shit, especially what he's done for the city and the hold he's had on the rap game. But that's like the only book you'll see niggas fucking promote these days. Like, it'll be niggas I ain't never seen read a book in my life, but they'll go read. Like, my nigga, it's so much other shit out there that can be essentially life changing. Because really, like I say, the way you think is what you're gonna get. Your thoughts are gonna dictate your outcome in life. And you know, and it's still something I work on a lot too, but I'm getting much better at it. But if you only align yourself with certain types of information, you're going to be very limited. You got to be able to, you know, cross-check this information. And I'm not saying that, you know, you got to cross-check out this man's biography, his life, but I mean, a biography is cool, but you're not going to live somebody else's life. Like, it's good to know how he did it, but it's not going to be the actual blueprint of for you to live. There's information in this modern day and age that it's a book or two that you could read and it could change your earning power. You know, they could take you from minimum wage to doubling and tripling your income. But again, niggas don't want to partake in that. Niggas don't want to read that. Arthur Mackett is a very interesting book. I read a couple of, like, that's why I say Tariq need to just stick to the game books. Stay away from the Hidden Colors and all that shit, because like I say, you know, Hidden Colors is cool, but again, it's all funded by Jewish people. And then, like I say, we kind of talked about it briefly, but like I say, how other cultures appreciate or how they implement religion. And my thing is, for the most part, you got your Muslims, you got your Catholics, I guess, you got your so-called Christians, you got some people who are Christians, you have Buddhists, you have the Jewish people. Iceberg Slim was good. I read a bunch of those in college. I read Iceberg Slim book. I read what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Don Magic Wand shit. I read a lot of them nigga shit in college. I read Iceberg Slim. I read Pimp. I read The Long Con. I remember Don Magic Wand book was real interesting. There was a couple of other ones too. You'll read a book on Honcho Plays Fortnite. You ain't gonna never. I have a copy of The Art of War. I actually was gonna use that because I've been on Twitter. Unique had posted some little thing to where you got to post a book a day for 7 days, and so the first one was, of course, The Alchemist, because I think that everybody should read that and just look at that story and realize that life is not linear. That there's going to be some ups and downs, and just kind of use that. Not necessarily use that as a guide, but I think that's an eye opener. The one I posted today was The Lucifer Effect by Phillips and matter of fact, I got it right here. No free promo, but whatever. The Lucifer Effect, and basically it's about the experiments they did. It's been a while since I read it though, but they did back when they were at the college and fucking where they set up the fake prison, and you know what I'm saying, and so they set up the fake prison, and they ought to getting our ass kicked by country 100 popping. And just basically talked about how people who were normally good, how they changed instantly. And I mean, it was a good social experiment. That's why you understand why prisons are the way they are here in America. But you got prisons in places like, I want to say, I don't think it was Denmark. It's one of those countries, Denmark or Iceland or Holland or one of those places. But they treat their prison system completely differently, and these people develop and thrive because what they do is basically the prisoners have like little apartments. Like these motherfuckers have keys to their cell where they can go in and out. These motherfuckers get to do basically regular everyday, like their punishment is basically being separated from their families and friends, and it was one place where they're basically like on a little island. These motherfuckers had a rap studio and shit, like just doing basically whatever. But what I think is the benefit of that is because most motherfuckers who do a bunch of dirt and shit, again, they've come from this environment of lacking and never having shit, never been treated with any kind of level of respect, and so they just kind of treat the world that way. But I think that people can be rehabilitated if you treat them in a certain fashion, if they've never had those feelings, if they've never encountered a certain level of treatment. But when you go to jail, shit, is motherfuckers treating you like animals and dogs. You just learn how to adapt, and then you go back into the world. You go back into the same motherfucking environment you came from, where you already have that culture of lack. You already have motherfuckers treating each other cutthroat. You just learn how to be more cutthroat, or how to navigate that environment better. So it's very interesting. Reading Rainbow was live, dog. They were supposed to be bringing that shit back, and I don't know what happened with it. They had started I don't know if it was a GoFundMe or something like that they were supposed to be bringing Reading Rainbow back, and I wish they would. Reading Rainbow used to be my show. They definitely inspired me. Remember the little noise? Da-da-da. That shit was live. That was the shit. Reading Rainbow was the shit, man. Reading Rainbow. Do 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 do. Lightning flies in the sky. Something, I don't remember how that shit going. But PBS used to be legit, dog. PBS used to be live. But again, like I say, the way you treat school, the way you treat religion, and all these other things. Oh man. When it comes on that loud ass out, I'm telling you, man, look, that shit used to be you said the THX that fucking loud ass shit. But Reading Rainbow, and how did they used to end it? And I recommend it, or something they used to say it. Da, da, da. So that shit used to be funny than a bitch. But again, and to kind of wrap up, talking about cultures and things like that. Appropriation. What is cultural appropriation? Is it a bad thing? Is assimilation a bad thing? You know, I think there's different views on it, because I saw a guy the other day and I saw another guy today, and he was, this guy I saw today, he was Armenian, and basically he was talking about, you know, what happened when his parents first came to this country, and you know, he was saying that they lived in an area that they moved to California, and the area they lived in wasn't really an Armenian area, but there's basically, he's talking about, you know, they got Little Italy and Little Armenia or whatever, like they got little different names for Little Sicily or whatever they was calling all these different places. And he was saying, you know, he said that assimilation is good because he's like a multi-millionaire now, and he's I think he's like the guy that basically started the culture of those boot camps and stuff like that. I can't even think of his name, but he was just saying, you know, he's glad that even though he started off, he came in here, and I think he said Glendale. I think he talked about Glendale, not moving to Glendale and staying in. I think he said that they moved to San Bernardino or something like that instead of going to Glendale. I don't know shit about California. Just a bunch of crazy liberals. But he was talking about that he felt like he benefited from not going there, because he's saying that, you know, these other cultures, when you go to a place where when you're only around your culture, you don't develop, you don't become adept in American business, because you don't learn it, because you're just so used to just dealing with your own people, and it hinders. All right, Balin, appreciate you following through. That it hinders your ability to interact with Americans as far as doing business and being able to, you know, steal that business sense and you know, things of that nature. I mean, there's a small weird Christian group caught between Iran and Turkey, which are Muslim. So is it like part of that culture to inject your ass and face with shit? But and so he was talking about that, and I found that interesting. I don't know if y'all saw the Chinese guy, the Chinese Nazi that just recently got arrested for hate crimes, because he was a fucking Chinese dude and he used to rock a Confederate. Like, that's why I say the mind is powerful and the mind is a terrible thing to waste, because I guess he thought he was embraced by some white people, so I guess he thought he was Confederate now. I don't know how many Asians fought in the Confederacy. I know there was a couple of niggas that was there, but I don't know if that was by force or by choice, or probably a mix of both, because, you know, niggas was fighting over their slave masters back then. But you know, I think that Jimmy Wang Yang, why do I want to believe that is his real name? Is that racist of me? Chicken Wang Jimmy Yang. But you know, and he got arrested for some shit trying to be a Nazi. I don't think he got the full memo. So he might have been in for a rude awakening. When he goes to jail, he tries to get his little lightning bolts. He may there was the wrestler, the Asian redneck, but when he goes to jail and he tries to get his lightning bolts, he may have a little bit of an issue. They may be a little bit questionable. He may find himself on the outside looking in, on the inside looking out. I don't know which one, but that dude, you know, like I say, again, tripping, but he was just talking about, you know, Asians need to abandon their culture and get with this American thing. Now, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it from a positive aspect with the Armenian guy, and I'm looking at it from the negative, kind of toxic aspect from this Asian guy, because what I do believe is you are in a different culture if you are abandoning, you know, where you're from. But then a lot of us, like I say, I'm a black American, I'm born here. The overwhelming numbers, you have to assimilate to an extent. If you want to thrive, you're going to have to. I mean, it is just what it is. You're going to have to learn how to operate in the prevailing culture. I'm not saying that you got to swap it up and do what they do and do all that. You just have to learn how they operate and be able to operate just as efficiently. But when you just detest everything and you hate it, you refuse to do it, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult than it may be. You know, as far as, I mean, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, if you're trying to be a businessman or something of that sort. So what are the Lebanese guys that say, bro, hey, bro, you got is that the guy from the Friday After Next with the fucking donut hole? Is he a Lebanese? This is what I'm saying. All that, when you start getting all that is just Middle Eastern, Armenians, Lebanese, all that in that area of the world. If they look similar, have a few similar features, I'm just gonna kind of throw them in the same category. And until somebody sits there and says, "Hey, man, I am a yada yada knees," and I'm like, "All right, well, explain that to me. You know, give me some understanding." But until I really have to encounter one of them, and I really have to just understand what they're about, I don't think it's time for me to care. I think when the information becomes useful to me, then I'll care. But like, what if I spend a bunch of time learning about Armenians and Lebanese, and I've encountered some Vietnamese again. You know, you'll see some Vietnamese in Harris County, but I go and I learn about all these people, and I never encounter any of them. Did I waste my time, or am I appreciating their culture? Is there something that I can take away from their culture that I can appropriate? But the one thing I do want to ask about a cultural appropriation is Steve Kerr. Yeah, well, you know how I feel about Steve Kerr. Cold-blooded. But my thing is this. This is my biggest question out of all of this. You know, we're talking about appropriation. This is the last part that I want to get to in cultural differences. But I want to take it all the way back to the very first thing we talked about, and that's food. Can you culturally appropriate food? This is something I need to know. This is something that has been bothering me for the last week or so after a different article I read. And I need to know. I was at a mall in Houston. They kept saying, "Bro, why don't you buy it? Just try it on, bro." Man, like they're assimilating into the culture. They're using terms that they expect you to be familiar with. And then they, with that familiarity may lead to you being a buying customer. Let me clean your shoes, bro. That's what Lebanese Hondurans say, and they're generally named Kenneth. So there's that. Are there Lebanese simps? Let's imagine you go to China. They have a soul food restaurant. You visit, and it's rice, beans, and tamales. Are you annoyed? But then that's not necessarily cultural. That's cultural misappropriation, because then it's none of those things. But I mean, like, if I went to a soul food restaurant and it was nothing but Chinese people, I gotta write these things down. Like, honestly, I don't even realize that I be saying all this shit. But then, like, after you mentioned, I do say that shit kind of a lot. So it's again, but I mean, there's a thing with misappropriation. But like, think about it. Well, I don't know about y'all, but every time I go to an Asian restaurant, it's like a Mexican cook there, and the shit, even though it's not probably real Asian food, but the fried rice be fucking hitting, and it's a Mexican person that cooked it. I know. My best friend, his pops, old lady. A whole lot of confusion there. I use these terms specifically for a reason. Mexican than a motherfucker, dog. Mexican than a motherfucker. When I say hands down, the best fucking fried rice I've ever had. And it's not even close. Like, makes it like what I'm assuming the Asians make it. Like, is that cultural appropriation? And like, is it appropriation if you make it and do it better? Like, Timmy Chan's fried fucking chicken. Niggas want to be kings of the fried chicken, but shit, Timmy Chan. I mean, if you let's be honest, Timmy Chan right down the street from fucking Frenchie's. Both of them motherfuckers trapping. Both of them motherfuckers booming. You know what I mean? Frenchie's, of course, has better taste. It's better chicken, but the lines be longer than motherfucker. You might wait a little bit longer. You go to Timmy Chan's, you might have a feather in your chicken, but you still gonna eat that shit. But what I'm saying is, does it really matter as long as the food is good? Now, if it's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But give me 1 second. But like I say, if it's fucked up, there's one thing, you know. Can I bring the fried rice to Honcho? I'll see if I can get her to make a batch. Look, 1 brisket, 1 bowl of fried rice. That's all I can promise. All you can eat though, or all you can try to eat. That's what I think we'll call it. All you can try to eat. But my thing is, like I say, you know, it doesn't matter in my opinion, as long as as long as, you know, I don't think I'd be good at stand-up comedy. I think I'd be bad. I think like I have a weird, kind of dry, slightly corny kind of sense of humor. I make myself chuckle though. I don't know if it would be very mainstream. I might have a little small niche of people who would fuck with it. I don't know if it would be very mainstream, but I don't care as long as the fucking shit tastes good. Why is it a problem? I don't care. And I'm gonna be honest though, my tamales have to come from a Mexican person. I have to have tamales from a Mexican person. Like, I've never seen tamales properly recreated by anyone else, and they have to be old. Gotta be old. Like, she's gotta be 60 plus for these to be legit tamales. Like, there used to be 2 old ladies who used to trap tamales at the same the little store I told you about that I ran from the dog at a few years back when I was coming back from. And when I say I used to have like full-blown conversations with this lady and she did not speak a lick of English and my Spanish was weak as fuck, but boy, we had some tamale conversations. You know what I'm saying? That was my dog right there. I'd be broke. She put me some tamales on layaway and shit. But Salvadoran tamales, I refuse to believe such a thing. I refuse to believe it. She had the little sauce, the little green sauce that came with it. She'd be like, spicy, hot. Like, I like hot. I like hot. Fucking caliente. Bring it on. But yeah, tamales. Look, I'm not putting on the Spanish accent. Tamale. No, tamales. All right. God damn it. With the EY. I want some goddamn tamales. All right. But like I say, you know, we would have conversations, sit there talking for 10 minutes, don't understand what she's saying, she don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but at the end of the conversation, I got my tamales, she got my money, and I'm eating tamales on the way home, talking shit to the dog because he's on the chain, and I was good. But she only sold them like Thursday through Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Rice and raisins. Oh, see, never just that ain't even that. No, I ain't got nothing to do with that. You fucking big meats. No, that's pause. You take those Central American tamales, go eat them with your meat buddies in China. You winning. Shit. She used to have. I forgot. It used to be like. It used to be a gang tamale. It was like $9. I remember when she went up on me. It used to be $8 and it went to like $9. But it was worth it. I remember one day I came over there and it was another woman trying to sell tamales. I was like, this territory's taken. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to run you up out of here because I don't like what's going on. Like I said, I didn't know what the old lady was. She had was MIA for a while. Then I found out she switched locations on me and fucking was trapping out by the fucking Little Caesars. Left the fucking store alone. She was trapping down the block at the Little Caesars. I went there one day to go get her hot and ready. She was out. I'm like, man, ain't this a bitch? You know what I'm saying? If I'd have known you was posted up and I didn't already have the taste for the fucking hot and ready, I'd have definitely went all in on some fucking tamales. But right now, I can't afford your tamales. I want 2 hot and readies. I don't want 1 fucking thing of tamales. So, you know, there's that. Y'all are Mexican haters. I can't believe all this racism that's going on right now. I am just offended. I'm offended for my Mexican brethren. My Mexican hombres. My Mexican hermanos. Oh man. Taco Bell mouse. Man. But that's fucking hilarious. How many girls think you talked to Kenneth today? I'm gonna say 4. 2 of them were probably telling him to move the fuck out the way. 1 of them asked for the answers to the homework from last night, and the last one was asking him to buy her a slice of pizza because she forgot her lunch, or she forgot her money, but she had a purse with money in it. She just wanted him to buy it. So that's I think that's my guesstimation for Kenneth's interactions with the female sex today. I got to talk to Kenneth though. I definitely need to talk to Kenneth about some things. Run on 2 girls that responded back. I'm gonna say Kenneth sent out 5 good morning texts this morning. You know, good morning, can't wait to see you at school. And I would say 2 on the money responded back, but both of those were like, who is this? That's where I'm going with that one. That's what I'm thinking. How many girls' shoes did he tie? I think it was a light day. I think he only tied 1 pair of shoes today. Because because the rest of the girls were wearing like his usuals were wearing flip flops or some shit. Over under on Watson's INTs. You got to give me a number. I'm going to say 0. He's going to be the first perfect season of 50 touchdowns and 0 INTs. The worst line. Did you miss me? That's not a bad line. That's not a bad line at all. That's actually a great line. When you fucking hitting it from the back, you say, "Did you miss me?" Oh, you're gonna get a response. Oh my goodness. Kenneth out there calling niggas Chads and shit. These goddamn Chads, they always fall for the Chads. So there's that. I'm gonna say I'm a lowball it. I'm a lowball to say 11. 11 INTs. Nah, no way. 20 TDs, 18 INTs, no way. I'm not saying he recreates what he did last year, because that was just very interesting. But a couple of those, if he makes, like I say, that one against Tennessee, that was just like what it is. When he's feeling himself, he likes to mash the gas. Because, like I said, a couple of those were just heat checks. But I think he'll be all right. Because, like I say, yeah, he'll be all right. I think I'm going to say 11. Brett Favre. Yeah. But like I say, the thing is, he knew that he wasn't getting much time in that game. He just put it up there. Like, he was throwing it to Ellington. He was testing that. I mean, if it was Hopkins, different story. Yeah, he looks just like Favre. I mean, if you look him in the face, they look exactly alike, they look strikingly similar. But that's a better comparison than RG3 You know, it reminds me of RG3. Reminds me of, you know, Randall Cunningham. Reminds me of Warren Moon. Reminds me of fucking Dante Culpepper. Reminds me of, you know, we see where they're going with that. Yeah, it reminds me of Michael Vick, you know, all that good stuff. So, but I don't see color. But I see shades, and they all look the same. All right. That's the main comparison that you see. Everybody, RG3, RG3. I mean, anytime somebody talks about fucking Watson, that's the fucking next thing that comes out of their mouth is RG3. Oh, good. Jamarcus Russell. Now he's out there fucking sipping drink. Great. He's in Houston sipping drink. Jamarcus Russell too. Jamarcus Russell Jr. It's over with. It's a wrap. Oh man, Elsie was out there. He gave up on that play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He definitely did. But like I said, I have no concerns, no worries. Now, I like that attitude. I like that attitude. You got to have that attitude. I personally, though, my biggest beef is still, I'm still kind of upset. Like I think people are like underplaying. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. We're going to wrap the deal up after this. I think that pass was not for Braxton. That's what I was about to talk about. That was not Braxton's pass. Braxton ran the wrong fucking route, and it looked good because he completed the pass. But people are underplaying it. Had that pass been for Hopkins or Fuller and Braxton jumps that route essentially, I think we have an issue there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we have an issue there. Like, I didn't, because again, like I said, I didn't see it in the watch, but if you look at it, because you look at Coates in the background, Coates like, what the fuck? And he just kind of throws his hands up like, you know, touchdown. Whedon's like slapping his helmet. That wasn't a play of excitement. He's like, what? That was like a fucking idiot. Like, it was like a, and then if you noticed, Whedon did not go immediately. I don't think he even went to Braxton at all on that. He went to Sammy Coates and talked to Sammy Coates about that. Like, that was not Braxton's play. Like, everybody's giving him props for catching that touchdown, but that was a fuck up. You know what I mean? And like, I was just saying, like, you that don't fly. Like, I mean, it was fortunate, but do you understand how big of a risk that really was? Like, that was a fuck up, Abigo. You brought another DB into the situation. Then you have two guys covering you. And fortunately, you made the play, but you're not a guy that they trust to make that kind of play very often, as opposed to Coates being one-on-one with a guy. I have to see who it was, but he looked to be a smaller guy. Or you jumping up and fucking taking on two fucking DBs, and you're the whole smidge over 6 feet. Hey, you know, yeah. You have a weird culture thing for me? Would say something you notice about Americans? Yeah, look, Braxton, like, I told Whedon what the play was in the huddle. You over there fucking up. Yeah, knock on wood. If Watson becomes injury prone, we'd be the best Texas quarterback. Yeah, even from that one season, he'll still be the best ever. Pats and Yankees, Giants, and Red Sox, all these great Northeastern franchises, no athletes are involved. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. No, because the South breeds all the best athletes. Nobody plays sports in the city. No fucking football players from New York City. There may be players from New York, other areas of New York. There's nobody fucking. You get some basketball players from New York City because they played in Tim's their whole life. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what irks me. Like, if motherfuckers had to go where they were originally from, like if you had to play, like if you had to go to college in your state and you had to play for a team in your state, like there would be about fucking 10 franchises, 10 fucking teams in Texas, be about 10 teams in Florida, and about 10 teams in California. And it'd be 2, maybe 1 in Ohio, and I don't even know where the other would come from. But my thing is, like, there would be the rest of the country would get no say in football. Like, come on now. You guys don't breed football players. You fucking better pick up cricket or some shit. Louisiana would definitely get one. Louisiana have about, we could take 2 teams from Cali, and we could take 2 teams from Florida. We give Louisiana like 5. Yeah, that is a very interesting point. How many fucking New Yorkers are in the league? Like, again, if it wasn't for a draft, it'd be your ass, Mr. Postman. Man, that's why I say, I used to like Texas, but the Big 12, them fucking dick suckers, they ruined Houston chance. Like, Houston would be, and Texas, Oklahoma, and all these schools know that. That's why they voted not to let them in. Houston would be a top 10 school from here on out had they had been accepted into the Big 12 when Tom Herman was the head coach. Because 1, there'd be no reason for him to leave. 2, you're going to get a lot more money. And the talent that is going to come to this, I mean, they're not even going to leave. You're going to pack that fucking stadium every fucking game. You're going to be on TV. You motherfucking me, you wouldn't be able to do shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, cause look at what you did when they're still in a smaller fucking conference, a little no-name conference with American Athletic, and still were gotten to what, up to 6, like number 6. They were the best team in fucking Texas at one point in time. They beat the brakes off Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like beat the brakes off Oklahoma. They had nothing for them, and so now you allow them to actually have a chance at recruits who want to play in a big company. It'd be over with. It wouldn't even be close. And they knew that shit. Yeah, nobody wants the Katy kids. Send those Katy kids to Stanford. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but I mean, shit, they ain't worried about that. You talk about the city of Houston, like, all your recruiting power would be over. Like, it would be no point. Houston would have its pick from the best players. Like, I mean, you'd have the best quarterbacks. You'd have, I'm going to give best running backs. They generally come from the Florida area. I'm gonna give your best running backs come from like the Florida area. Like your best scat backs come from Florida. Like I said, you're gonna have the best receivers. Cali has some nice running backs too. But again, like I say, it would be over with. It wouldn't even be close, man. It wouldn't be close. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you still got solid backs. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, I think you're more known. Florida's got a lot of that speed. You know what I mean? They got some solid receivers too. But I think just overall, the best passing game is in Texas, period. Like, best quarterbacks, best fucking receivers come out of Texas. Yeah, that's what they are, man. That's what I'm saying. UT has enough money. That's why they wanted Tom Herman, and they wanted to avoid U of H getting in. Because even if Tom Herman still would have went, I'm talking about the recruits that would just stay in Houston alone. That means Oklahoma, you lose, shit, you have no pool here in Houston. UT loses a lot of pool here in Houston. Shit, and the rest of them schools ain't got no chance as it is. Like, it'd be over with. Yeah, Reggie Bush. But again, those are your experts from ESPN. I remember when Sam Bradford was supposed to be the most NFL-ready quarterback to ever grace the field. Lindell lasted, what, half a year in the fucking league? How long was Lindell? Lindell was in the league maybe a year, maybe 2. Like, it was over with, man. It was over with. That shit used to kill me, dog. When they allowed TCU in. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say, fuck the national media and their bias. Like, again, a bunch of Cali kids. Yeah, they're going to be the best ever. Okay. And there's that. Yeah, anything coming from USC, especially while Pete Carroll was there, it was just going to be, they're going to be the greatest. That's why I say I have no faith in the Darnold kid. We'll see what happens. They hyped up the Josh Allen kid. That dude's going to be 17 2.0. Let me see what you saw about. I gave you power. Where you at? Let me see where you at. Your last comment says, read your last comment. see if Deshaun Watson, what if the Texans drafted Vince Young over Mario Will? No. Deshaun Watson is better than Vince Young. And I saw a comparison to that too. I think Deshaun Watson has a much better work ethic than Vince Young. Now, if he starts hanging out at the Cheesecake Factory, we got a problem. Vince Young was extremely talented, but Vince Young was more legs, in my opinion. He was quicker to utilize his legs, in my opinion, than Deshaun Watson. But you got to give Vince credit for doing what he did against USC. Was he down? I don't know. But again, you don't allow him to have that play at the end of the game to do what he did. Oh man, I played against J.P. Losman. Like, that tells you how that went. So like I say, it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy shit. Hey, there'll be old cake face. Which one? But yeah, there was definitely a bunch of hype coming from USC. Bunch of hype and a bunch of steroids. So here's the deal. All right. Yeah, I'm still streaming. J-Bird, go to bed, goddammit, so you take your ass to school. But here is the deal. I am about to. Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, I'm about to wrap it up. So get your steals on, get your bullies on. You know what I'm saying? Does Alabama even have a quarterback yet? Have they made a decision? Yeah, let me get my steal and bully on. But like I said, what high school did Baker Mayfield go to? I have no idea. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be a bit overrated. The dude's fucking like posing on cars with fucking tigers and shit. Like, come on, man. And my thing about the Baker Mayfield shit is, and I still find that crazy that his dad was my coach back in high school. My senior year, his dad was my coach. Had no idea that was his kid. So what was that fucking long ass name, having J Bird? Go back to sleep. God damn it. Come here waking up challenging people and shit. But yeah, so like I say, my thing is this. Had to whoop J Bird real quick before we wrapped it up. But what time is it? I may give y'all a little bit of mixer action. I ain't too tired. I know I said I was gonna do that yesterday. I didn't get on. But we'll see. We'll get on the mixer for a second. I might play some PUBG. But we're all J Bird. Expect us. What was it? What was the thing? You should expect us. But yes, my friends in the den, it's been a very interesting conversation. Cultural stuff. I don't even remember what tomorrow's show is, but check the deal. Let me see. Tomorrow we will be talking about what is your ultimate purpose. So that's something I want y'all to think about, goals that you have in life. What do you think, your ultimate purpose is? We're going to talk about how you can discover your ultimate purpose. But yes, with that being said, his daddy was cool though. I will say that. With that being said, chunk up the deuce. And you ain't got to go home. You're more than welcome to catch the mixer here in a bit. But you got to get the fuck up out of here. Adios.